Have you ever been out at crossroads before? Have you ever been at a tipping point in your life? My crossroads, when I was in Barcelona, backpacking through Western Europe, and I happened to meet, by pure chance, two of the most sincere, genuine guys I've ever known. And they literally had absolutely nothing to their name, no money whatsoever. And yet, there are people all over the world who have plenty of outward success, like wealth and recognition, but they're miserable. Why is that? Why is it that half the people on the New York freeway this morning as I was driving down to New York City look completely miserable? Let's take a hypothetical example, but I promise you this happens in reality all of the time. Two adults, let's call them two teachers. And one of those teachers is miserable all of the time. They're unhappy. And I'm not talking about dealing with the inevitable tragedies of life, but they're constantly bringing people down, even when they have every reason in the world to smile. And let's take another teacher in this example and give them the same outward levels of success that the other teacher had, the same salary, the same car, the same house, the same general type of life. But they're happy, they're fulfilled. And even when things get crazy around them, they maintain their center and their calm. Which kind of person do you want to be? Outer versus inner, very important. What does outer mean? Outer is when we get lost in the expectations of other people. These could be expectations from friends, family members, coworkers, acquaintances, peers, anything that is outside of our control. And then the other aspect of the outer focus involves outward signs of success. For example, like wealth, recognition, and things that are generally out of our control. The inner focus is what is under our control. And that involves looking within and asking yourself, what do you want? I mean, actually going within when no one else is around and just really clarifying, getting to know yourself and understanding what you want out of life. And specifically, the inner focus is an ability to see the silver lining, finding the hidden opportunity in whatever happens, and also learning the lesson, taking an action that you may need to take. Now, I want to be very clear about something off of the bat. There is absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever with outward signs of success. Wealth is great. We need to provide for our loved ones and family, and we need to expand our influence as people and help other people. There is nothing wrong with money whatsoever. And it's great to be recognized that after you work hard, you deserve a pat on the back. But the key is to always put inner first. Inner first, outer second. Because if you put outer first, your outward signs of success will crumble very easily. And that's when bad things can happen. I'm going to share with you an example. And I mentioned bad things can happen. What exactly am I talking about here? There's a man who is one of my favorite actors of all time. Raise your hand if you're familiar with the story of Robin Williams. One of the greatest actors in history, hands down. Amazing guy, so talented. And what I loved about Robin a lot is, not only was he great in his career, but he genuinely cared about other people. He created the Windfall Foundation to help homeless people, and he just had a great heart. He really did care a lot, and there's a lot of light here because he made such an incredible impact on the planet. He helped a lot of people. In August of 2014, he hung himself. He's now dead. Here's a man, in every sense of the word, deserved to enjoy his success. I mean, he had a great family, a great career, money, wealth, fame, recognition. But was he fulfilled on the inside? That's what I want to know. And as I researched this, and I thought about why would someone so successful on the outside kill themselves? It doesn't make any sense. I came across a quote he said. It's one of the most powerful quotes I've ever heard in my entire life, hands down. I want to share with you right now. And in this quote, he said, "I used to think that the worst thing in life is to end up all alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up around other people who make you feel alone." That offers an insight into perhaps why he did what he did. Family is wonderful. Friends, colleagues, co-workers, or people at your school, peers, that's all wonderful, but that's all outer. Inner first, outer second. The perils for anyone, no matter how successful they are on the outside, are awful if you put your outer success first. You have to fulfill your inner life. You have to find the silver lining. I want you to think of a setback that you've had in your life. Let it come to you, or a challenge, and it doesn't have to be life or death. It could be recent, it could be a while ago, or it could even be someone you know. Just think of something you struggled with, a decision, something that you weren't really sure about. I can relate to that. I can relate to that struggle. When I was a senior in high school, 17 years old, I got pretty good grades. I had some friends. I mean, I played sports. I played football and baseball. I had a pretty good time. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. And I was applying to different colleges. And there was one school that stood out to me. I just liked it. I just went to the campus. It's a small school in Maryland called McDaniel. And I don't have time to go into the reasons why I chose this school. That's something I talk about more in depth when I do keynotes at high schools and colleges. But it doesn't matter. The point I want to make with you here today is what happened as a result of me choosing this school. I loved it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong to like a school. It's my decision. I'm going to college. I knew people where I'm from in Connecticut wouldn't really know about this small school. I knew that. But nothing, I mean nothing, could have prepared me for what was to come. Nothing in a million years. Blew my mind. First conversation was with my teacher, one of my favorite teachers. And we're talking after class one day, and I was pretty excited that I got into this small school that I wanted to go to. And she said, "You know, Jeff, I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed that you chose that school and not the school in Boston that I wanted you to go to." Remember what I told you guys, inner first, outer second? I can't control other people. You can't control the people around you. You can't control the expectations of other people. And this wasn't just some random teacher. This was one of my favorite teachers. I tried to explain to her why I was going to this small school. She wouldn't listen. She was disappointed in me. All right, fine, it was one teacher. Then my guidance counselor. And I want to be very clear about something right now. My guidance counselor had good intentions. I mean, well-intentioned guy. Please don't think that I'm not upset about this. I'm not angry. I mean, these were good people, and it's not like they were plotting to do me wrong. What I am doing, though, is stating the facts of the situation. One-on-one conversation with my guidance counselor. And, I told him I decided to go to this small school, and he said, "Why would you go to that school?" That hurt. Words hurt. If someone ever tells you words don't hurt, they haven't learned the power of their words, because words do hurt. Have you ever had someone say something to you that was short and to the point, but it was loaded with tons of hidden meaning? That was what happened with my guidance counselor. Because you know what I felt like in that moment? I felt worthless. I felt completely worthless, and even worse than that, I felt like my entire 4 years of high school went to waste. I worked so hard, and I was involved, and everyone around me thought I was a complete idiot for going to this small school. My guidance counselor said, "You're making a big mistake to go to this small school and not some of the other schools you got into in Boston, New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. And then the triple whammy. The triple whammy. I'm talking with my best friend over lunch. And your best friend, I mean, he or she is supposed to shield you from other people's opinions. And we're talking, and the conversation took a random turn, and he actually brought it up. I didn't even talk about it. I just wanted to enjoy my lunch. And looked me right in the eye, and he said, "If you go to that school, you will fail at life." He said, "You will be a failure." And it's so awesome that I can laugh about it now. It is awesome, and I'm so happy about that. At the time, it was not a joke. I mean, I was so young. I was, dare I say, inexperienced, and I didn't know how to handle things like this. And I got depressed. I got really depressed. And then coupled with some of the other setbacks I had as a senior in high school, there were just so many things in a row that didn't go right. I'm only sharing with you the school example, but there was a lot behind that. And at one point, I didn't want to go on. I said, what's the point? My teachers, my guidance counselors, and my friends all think I'm an idiot. They think I'm making a big mistake, and they think I have no clue what I'm doing with my life. That's what they all thought of me, literally. Now, I'm very lucky that I did have parents who supported me, 2 loving parents who did actually give me support, but that's not the point. Whether you have supportive parents or not, supportive friends or not, you can still choose to fulfill your inner life no matter what. It ended up being the best decision of my life. Not only did I meet great people and get challenged academically, but I got to play sports. I went to McDaniel's abroad campus in Budapest, and I was abroad for an entire year. I ended up going to a great graduate school at Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins Carey Business School, their graduate school of business. And I also landed great jobs in Maryland that never would have happened if I didn't choose this school. Now, let me be clear, good experiences can flow from any college or university that you decide to go to, but that's not the point. The point is inner first, outer second. Inner first, outer second. Fulfill your inner life and then let good things flow from that, not vice versa. Because if you have the outward signs of success but you're not fulfilled on the inside, life will crumble very easily. Another story I want to share with you is Rory Vaden. Huge inspiration to me. Huge inspiration because he competed in something called the World Championship of Public Speaking. And what this contest is about is competing against other people in terms of public speaking and improving yourself. And he was in his early 20s, and he's competing against more than 25,000 people from more than 100 countries. And he got to the final 9. He got to the final 9, and he was so close to the mountaintop, he could almost grab it. But it got snatched away from him. He lost. He got second place. Now, of course, second place is great. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. But my friends, when you are that close to the top and you miss, it stings. I mean, it stings a lot. Why do I share this? What's my point? The point is that after Rory got second, after he spoke 304 times to improve himself, he went back to the drawing boards. And he didn't get the outcome he wanted in the contest, but he said, I'm going to fulfill my inner life. He built his outward success on fulfilling his inner life, and he decided to write books. And it led to expanded influence as a writer. He missed one mountaintop, but he went to an even higher mountaintop. He went to an even higher mountaintop that wouldn't have happened had he won the contest. That's a catch-22 of life. It's all rigged in your favor. When unwanted events happen, setbacks, something that you just don't want to happen, it's all rigged in your favor. Rory Vaden went to a higher mountaintop because he lost. And that only happened because he decided to fulfill his inner life, and his outward success was reflected from his inner fulfillment. What's the point here? What are we getting at? The point of all this is that you can choose to be pushed around by the outer focus and to get lost in the expectations of other people, or you can decide to fulfill your inner life. It's not always easy. And please know, I'm not saying to suddenly forget about your responsibilities. Continue to be disciplined. Continue to put yourself out there. But you have to fulfill your inner life first. Inner first, outer second. How do you do that? How do you fulfill your inner life? Look for the silver lining. Find the hidden opportunity in your setback. Within every problem, within every unwanted event is a hidden gift. There is some gift in there, and you may not see it right away, but it will emerge. Think about what's the lesson you can learn from the situation, what action you can take to move yourself forward, who you can talk to, and look specifically for that silver lining. Remember that life is absolutely rigged in your favor. Anything that happens, even if it seems really bad at the time, is actually leading you to something bigger and something better. Steve Jobs said it best. He said, listen, to your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Notice that he didn't say everything else is negligent. It is absolutely important to still have outward signs of success, but only after you've fulfilled your inner life. I had a point where I didn't want to go on, but I was able to connect with that feeling, that knowing, and that action that it's possible to find a silver lining in even really weird, unexpected, and unwanted situations. Fulfill your inner life. Trust yourself, and then you'll reach the mountaintop. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.